I feel like, should I throw it? Just hated it. Whoa, I damaged my book. Welcome to Liv's Bookshelf. I am Liv, and welcome to the only channel where my makeup is as tired as me. So 2019 is gone. The good, the bad, the ugly, it's gone. It's so last year. So clever. But 2019 is out the door, and I thought we'd give it one last lovely send-off by discussing some of my reads this year. I'm kind of behind on the book release train, so a lot of the books that I'm going to be discussing today came out years ago, and some of them came out this year, and some of them are just old. So let's discuss them. Today we are going to be going through some books that I read in 2019. Some of them I loved, some of them I hated, some of them were just bad in general. But we're going to go through all of them, and you're going to get my honest opinion on every single one of them. So let's go. Book 1 is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I have discussed this book at length on my Instagram, on my blog, and we're going to do it again. Because if you don't know how I feel about this book, you should. I hated it. So kind of a bad start, I guess. Maybe I should put a different book first. But yeah, I hated this book with a burning passion. I don't hate Holly Black's writing at all, and I don't even hate the story. This book did not click for me at all. The writing in this book in particular, I didn't care for. Not to say I don't care for Holly Black as an author, it's just something, multiple somethings. But yeah, I definitely think it was the main, like, couple of pages where it was just Jude that really pissed me off, because it was like word count but no content, and yeah, not my thing. Also, I really found Jude to be an annoying protagonist. I didn't like her. But I was digging the hairstyle. The horn hairstyle was pretty neat. And I have to say, the cover art on all these books is absolutely beautiful. Next book is Red Sister by Mark Lawrence. I have to say, this has been my favorite series that I've read in years. Maybe my favorite series of all time. But I am so passionate about the series. It has everything that I could want, and not only that, but it has everything that I can see some of my friends with other views and other opinions than me, other outlooks on life. I can totally see them loving it, and that's why I really enjoyed this book, is because, you know, if you want all female characters, this book has it. Okay, check that off the list. You want badass female characters? Check it off the list. Okay, you want a coming-of-age story? Check it off the list. You want a traumatized character protagonist who really gets put through the ringer and has to go through some stuff? Check that off the list. You want incredibly built-up villains? Check it off the list. There is nothing in this book in this series really, that I didn't like. And the author, too, is just so humble and so gracious. I've reached out to him on Twitter, and, like, he actually replied. Y'all, he actually replied to me. Like, that's awesome. And everyone, I wouldn't say that there's, like, a huge fandom for the book yet, but there is definitely a fan base for the book series, and everyone that I've met in the fan base so far has been nothing but cordial, kind, and courteous to me, and even the artists, they're so sweet. Yes, I have nothing but praise for this book and the series, and I wish he would write more books in this series, but I know he won't probably, because it just concludes so nicely. It's just beautifully wrapped up, and part of me wishes he would write more for this series, and then part of me is like, no, just go read his other books because they're just as fantastic. You like gory, you like realistic, you like wonderfully built up characters, and you like badasses in general. This book series is 110% for you. Go read it, my friend, and come tell me what you think of it, because I know you're gonna love it, and you're welcome. The next couple books I have on this list are also from the Red Sister series, and they're Grey Sister and Holy Sister, and just because I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, because again, one of my favorite series, I would not want to spoil this for anyone, just know that they are fantastic and they are amazing and they're worth noting. So I'm going to leave it at that. Go read them. Next book is Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Now, it's not technically a book, I know, don't give me crap about it. Well, do, I don't care. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, the reason it made this list, not necessarily for a good reason, but because it really failed on my expectations. J.K. Rowling has long been one of my favorite authors, and I didn't end up reading the Harry Potter series until about middle school. Obviously, when I read the books, I had super high expectations for them. I've seen the Fantastic Beasts movies, and I love them all, which I know is super controversial. But I went to the bookstore as soon as this came out, and I was like, oh my goodness, I have to have this. I love these books, I love this author, I need this in my life. And then I got it in my life and I hated it, guys. And I say that very sadly. So yeah, technically it's not a book, it's like a screenplay. And the screenplay, the writing isn't awful, but you can tell it's obviously not written by J.K. Rowling. Like, let's be honest with ourselves here. We all knew this was not going to be written by her. Okay, and then on top of that, the characters are so out of character. It's almost comical to see like Harry being a horrible father and then like, oh, you can't be Slytherin. Like, you were an orphan, for God's sake, okay? No. I think the only part about this that I did enjoy was the plot twist regarding somebody's daughter. I'm just saying. So yeah, not gonna spoil too much, but definitely not my favorite, and just made it onto this list for being a major disappointment. So the next book on this list is an Audible book that I have been listening to for about the past month or so, kind of off and on, and I haven't completely finished it yet, but I am nearly there. So I would like to just kind of mention The Time Traveler's Wife, which has become one of my favorite non-fantasy books, non-sci-fi books. I don't usually venture out from the genre, that's kind of my safe genre, but now that I am addicted. I love this book so much. I love Henry. I love, I can't remember, Claire, I think, is the female protagonist's name, and I love their little duo that they have going on, and their relationship and the way that these two characters play off of each other. It's wonderful, amazing. I cannot say enough good things about this book. Please go read it if you have not already, and if you have, then hit me up in DMs and let's discuss, because you guys know that I am a total nerd and I love talking about books with you guys. Okay, so the next book that we are going to talk about is Night Lord Sunset, which was a book recommended to me earlier last year, actually, in August, and it is about a man who turns into a vampire after meeting a very dashing young woman, and yeah, he basically turns into the type of vampire, it's like described as he can go outside during the daytime, I think. I don't know, it's a weird type of vampire, not necessarily the traditional vampire. And it's really funny how it affects him and affects his lifestyle. It's not necessarily a comedy book, but it does have a lot of comical moments, and the protagonist is very easy to like, and I'm loving the book so far. It's a little slow for my taste, so I would really give it 3 or 4 stars, but I really am enjoying it. Next book / series that I really enjoy is the series For John Dies at the End. So this series is a little bit wonky. It's not like anything that I've ever read before, but I loved it with all of my heart and soul. I love this series so much. It's absolutely hilarious. It's disgusting. It's graphic. It's weird. It has every every bad word in the book. It is just raunchy and gross and absolutely a fantastic book. This author spares no expense, no emotion. This author does not care what you think is proper and good and should be in a book. He just goes for it, and in my opinion, this book is a perfect example of ultimate creative freedom and of an author who just doesn't give two craps what you or I or anybody else in the writing business thinks. They're having fun with their novel, and it shows, and you will have fun too reading the series. The series follows two men, John and Dave. Yeah, John and Dave. The series follows two men, John and Dave, as they are monster hunters in their area, and they solve mysteries and crimes, and everything that can go wrong, it does go wrong for them. Great book, great series, and I would recommend it to anyone and everyone over the age of 15. That's all from me. Thank you for watching this video. Again, this has been Liv from Liv's Bookshelf, and let me know your top 5 and what you're planning on reading going into the new year.